Hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. Today's video is going to be a little more different than most of my usual videos, because usually I'm posting hauls, unboxing, and shopping videos. But I do want to post some more videos where I just kind of like talk about manga and talk about collecting manga. So today's video, I have been a little nervous about recording. I've been wanting to record it for quite a long time, and that is, how do I buy as much manga as I do? I'm sure you might have noticed that I buy a lot of manga. Even now I probably buy a bit too much, but we're gonna get into it to try and make sure that I don't forget to say anything. I have actually written some bullet points for me to go through, so I kind of just want to talk about what I do to be able to accumulate. Some of the points are going to be a bit more obvious than others. Some of them you could potentially try and apply to your own manga collecting. Maybe you don't collect on the same scale as I do, but it might help you pick up cheaper manga. So I'm going to go through my key points, then I'm probably going to go on a bit of a ramble at the end. So first point on my bullet point list is never pay retail. Now, I know that sounds way easier said than done. My number one key thing when I buy manga is never pay retail price. Now, there are always going to be exceptions. For example, when I've done my shopping videos and I filmed in shops which only sell manga at retail price, I do still pick up some manga there. I definitely feel if I've been filming, I want to buy something so I feel a little less shitty. So I kind of plan it out and schedule and decide how many volumes I'm happy to buy. And even then, it's maybe 2 or 3 max. I don't go to the same level that I do in, say, a shop that offers 3 for 2 prices. Following on from that, I do actually have a video where I talk about how much I spend on manga, which is a bit more numbery than this video is going to be, but pretty much my maximum price that I'm usually comfortable to buy a volume for is its 3 for 2 price, which is 70% of retail. How do you work out the price? Well, take its retail price, times it by 2, divide by 3. And that's pretty much my upper limit for any volume of manga. It does get a little iffy because I know my Forbidden Planet ups some of the prices of their volumes than some other Forbidden Planets. So in Leeds, a volume might be $11.99, but in Manchester it might be $9.99. So okay. So do I take the 3 for 2 price of Leeds or Manchester? I kind of just try and play it by ear. I try to, do I think I am happy enough paying in between? I usually try and aim a bit below 3 for 2 price when I buy online brand new, like Blackwell's in particular. Some other things that I do is I frequently check, and when I say frequently, I mean 2 to 3 times a day. I will check stores like Blackwell's or Traveling Man or World of Books to see what new volumes of manga have been added or have been discounted. I've definitely noticed Blackwell's will sometimes have a volume of manga discounted for a couple hours and that's it. Or I do definitely think sometimes they have so many volumes will be discounted and then it goes back up to its regular price, because there have been times where I've bought a discounted volume and then I've shared the link in the Dudettes Discord server. Link can be found down below if you're interested in joining. And by the time I've shared it and someone else has clicked on it, the price has gone back up and it's almost too coincidental. It definitely feels like they have so many volumes they want to shift at a certain price before they put it back up. So definitely I do check more than once a day. A lot of these, usually I have them bookmarked and it's just 5 minutes, go through, check, nope, okay. And I look so frequently, I can really quickly scroll through and I do quite quickly notice if there's anything new added. Sounds a little sad saying this all out loud, I've got to be honest. I also say definitely if you buy online, look out for discount codes. World of Books in particular, I don't think I've ever not been able to find at least a 10% off discount code. I even found a 20% off discount code for it once upon a time. But 10% is definitely really doable. Not all sites will have them, but definitely go and have a look. Book Depository is another one that used to be quite easy to find discount codes for. I haven't been able to find one in over a year, and I haven't actually bought from Book Depository in over a year just because the prices went up a bunch and I couldn't find discount codes. It just wasn't as cheap for me. Those points under sort of one umbrella were never pay retail or have an upper limit and stick to it, even if it means you have to be rather patient and you don't get new releases as quickly. I'm fine with that. I don't mind waiting for new releases. It just, as long as I can get it cheaper, and even if I have to wait a few months, I'm okay with that. So never pay retail, discount codes, and frequently checking for deals on sites that you frequent. So my next bullet point is buying secondhand. I buy a lot secondhand. I've done some hauls which have been entirely secondhand, and most of my hauls generally have secondhand included in them now. I kind of sort of do an accumulative instead of specific types. Secondhand, I definitely feel gets a bad rap for being horrific, and I cannot tell a lie. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's really bad, definitely. I feel so bad because I talked about it a whole bunch and I encouraged Himeka to give it a go, and she did, and she got one of the worst quality manga volumes I've ever seen secondhand, and I think it's put her off a little, and I don't blame her, but I feel like it's definitely not representative of secondhand. I have quite a few secondhand volumes which have writing in them. I have one which has got, like, it was evidently given as like a birthday gift, and someone's written like, "Dear so-and-so, I hope you love this and have a great birthday, love so-and-so," and I'm like, oh well, I feel really bad for the person who gave this away. One of my key issues with secondhand is I find the descriptions they give of, is it almost like new, is it very good, good, used, they're all a bit don't mean anything. I've had very good volumes arrive with like half a cover missing, and I've had used volumes arrive still plastic wrapped. I don't understand. It's almost, it's kind of potluck on what quality your volume's going to be. I have noticed over the past few months the quality's generally improved. I definitely get a lot less shitty quality or library copies than I used to. It's more, this has been read a couple of times, but you'd be hard pressed to tell. Like, if you went along my shelves, I definitely bet you'd struggle to point out most of the secondhand manga I own, unless you've watched all my hauls and you've committed them to memory, at which case, good for you, well done, but also, please don't do that. And I suppose that kind of leads into the next point, which is I don't really care too much about the quality. I don't mind if corners are scuffed. I don't really mind if there are rips inside the book. A common one is a secondhand volume that used to be a library copy. Often might have like the library checkout bit of paper ripped out, or it might have like the electronic tag ripped out. I don't really mind too much. You can still read it, and I like the spine to be in a good quality because you can see the spines on my shelves, but otherwise I'm not too fussed. I don't care if it's yellowed because books do that, and it just gives it character in my opinion. So definitely that helps me buying secondhand, because I just don't really care too much about the quality as long as it's like readable. My next bullet point is I don't really care too much about what I read. I'm really happy to pick up manga that I know nothing about, but it's like £1.50, so why not give it a go? I know I would absolutely not encourage this on anyone. All the other points, maybe consider them, think about them. This one, no. This is a Kate Tins. I like to read manga blind. I love shit manga. I love reading shit stories. It's almost as good as a really good one. No, that's not true. It's really not. But I love it in its own right, and I'm happy doing that. I love doing that. So there are quite a few series where I've managed to pick a lot of them up secondhand because they've been quite cheap, and I've not known anything about the series. Gentleman's Alliance Cross is one that comes to mind. What else have I picked up all secondhand? Clockwork Planet. A lot of Rosario Vampire. Actually, quite a lot of Seven Deadly Sins as well. I don't really care too much about what I'm reading. I just want to be reading. I don't think... that definitely helps me when I'm like, I'll just pick this up. It's cheap. I'll read it. It'll be great. So I think that helps bulk out my hauls when I've just seen cheap stuff. I'm like, yeah, why not? Which also kind of leads to my next bullet point, which is buying manga out of order. I used to only buy volumes sequentially, and to be fair, I would still recommend people do that unless they're seriously committed and know they want to pick up the series, at which point, if you see volumes 10 to 12 of Jujutsu Kaisen for £4 each, but you don't have 5 and 6, go for it. If you know you want to pick the series up, do it. If you're like, I have some series which is like 1 to 30, because I do know I'll want to read the series because I just want to read everything, and because I found it cheap, I'll just pick them up then. Ultimately, by the time I've accumulated the series, it'll probably be quite a lot more discounted than if I bought them sequentially retail. Going back to Seven Deadly Sins, most of the volumes I've picked up have been for about £5 when it would retail for probably £9.99 in store, so that's about 50% off. So I do have the first volume and the last volume, and then I think I have about 30 volumes in the middle somewhere. So still a bit to go, but because I've been slowly building it up, I will have been able to collect the series for much cheaper than if I'd done it even as 3 for 2. It's just been taken a bit longer because I'm waiting for the volumes I need to be secondhand. It's like Dragon Ball and Claymore are 2 other series. Dragon Ball I have now completed, Claymore I am still missing a couple of volumes, but I've been collecting those series for about 10 years now, I think, and a lot of them I've been picking up secondhand, sometimes for as low as like £2-3 a volume. But that is all a matter of preference. But this is just me trying to say, like, this is what I do and it's how I manage to accumulate manga, but also I still wouldn't necessarily encourage someone else to do it this way. Also, as a standard, I receive manga quite often for occasions, so birthdays, Christmases, my anniversary. I got a whole bunch of Faku, how romantic. So that's another point where I receive a whole bunch of manga, but I haven't outright paid for it, which makes it even better. Then my sister is quite strict in that she refuses to feed my, I'll say hobby, she says addiction. Speaking of my partner, he also reads the manga, so actually quite a chunk of the volumes that we get a month he pays for. So we kind of have a deal where he might not necessarily buy the manga that he's going to read, but he'll kind of buy the amount of volumes that he tends to read in a month, and it's like, you can read whatever you want if you put some into the library. It's kind of the deal we have, and it's worked quite well, I think. He's quite happy with it. Are you quite happy with it? Cool. There was some form of confirmation. And my last point, and I really don't know how to phrase this too well, but I have a job. I have a well-paying job. For those interested, I am a software engineer, and they're quite well paid. My partner is also a software engineer and we live together, so we do have disposable income, and I just choose to put mine into manga. It could be so much worse, is what I tell my parents. I'm only really talking about this subject because people ask me a lot. I feel really weird saying it though, because I don't necessarily know what people want me to say when they ask me, where do you get the money from? I have a job. I don't know what you want from me. And I also know that there's people saying, oh, will you just buy a whole bunch of manga to show off on your YouTube and your Instagram? Because I've had that as well. No, I can assure you, I've had this problem way before I joined social media. If anything, social media has just allowed me to talk to more manga-like people, which is so worth it. I don't care about having a few grumpy comments at me if it's meant that I've been able to join such a wonderful, light-hearted community. Everyone here is so lovely and welcoming, and I've met some great people. Shout out to the ladies, you know who you are. I know some of you have probably clicked on this hoping that I'm going to give you a number that I spend a month. Well, I'm not giving it to you, I'm sorry. This isn't a topic I'm really going to talk about again, so stop asking me. I know that won't stop people asking me, but I did want to talk about it, if only at least for the points prior to I got a job and I got a partner who also has a problem with manga. The other points about not paying retail, looking for manga, discount codes, being a bit more iffy about quality and what I'm picking. I know it won't draw a line under it, but I kind of just wanted to do well, these are all the things I do and the effort I do to try and find discounted cheap manga. I know it won't stop people, but still, primarily I make these videos and I do my social media stuff just because I like talking about manga, and I like talking to people who also like talking about manga, and I want to keep doing that, and I want to find more people and talk to more people about manga and just keep going and going and going until I explode. I would also recommend, if you're North America based, so Canada and the US, check out some of the manga restock accounts on Twitter. They post really often about when not only manga's gotten restocked on different sites, but also when it's been discounted. They do sometimes post about other countries, so I've seen them post a little bit about UK, but primarily their focus is US and Canada. I find it super interesting because usually when stuff gets restocked in the US, it's only about a month or two afterwards that we start to see it in the UK, so it's almost like oh, they've got it now, we'll have it soon. I don't think I really have anything else to say. I hope I've not come across too arsey. I almost feel a bit resigned to how much I get asked. Do be sure to check out the Manga Dudettes Discord server, link down below. We post lots of discount manga when we find it, and people post about how they're saving on manga and stuff like that. And you might just find it really interesting if you're trying to think about saving on manga or finding more cheap manga or secondhand manga, that sort of thing. Otherwise, I do hope you enjoyed that and you found it interesting, and I will see you next time. Bye!